Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Muhammad Afiq bin Abdul Aziz, and today my team's gonna talk about student step counts in KKTM Ledang. The reason why we choose student step count as our main title is because from the article that we choose from Harvard Head Publishing, it shows that walking fewer than 2,000 steps per day is strongly linked to many diseases such as heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and premature death. On the other hand, individuals who manage to increase their daily step to around 4,500 or more already see a substantial reduction in health risk. So the reason why we choose the article is because we want to know how healthy does a student KKTM Ledang is. So the data that we need is how much steps does a student take in a day.
So from the article, we found that even just a small number of steps a day can already help protect our heart. The researchers mentioned that walking as 2,300 to 4,000 steps daily can lower the risk of heart disease and even early death. This shows that we don't need to do extreme exercise, just being active regularly already make a difference. Because of that, our group decide to do a mock study to explore more about how physical activity is connected to heart health.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Alif Aiman, and our group's project is about daily step counts among KKTM Ledang students. Although step count and physical activity are common topics in health research, most of the data comes from general reports or studies overseas. That means it may not truly reflect the situation here in KKTM Ledang. Without clear data, we don't know whether our students are meeting the recommended daily step goals or if low activity is actually a problem here. This is important because taking too few steps every day can affect both physical and mental health. It can lead to weight gain, fatigue, stress, and even poor academic performance. On the other hand, being active can improve focus, fitness, and overall well-being. Since we do not have specific data yet, our group plans to collect information from KKTM Ledang students about their daily step count. We will then organize it into a table to see the distribution and get a clearer picture of their activity levels. Through this study, we hope to identify whether students here are active enough or if low step count is becoming a concern among us.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Muhammad Ikhwan Muhammad Zainuddin, and I'm gonna explain for the question 4 and 9. For the question 4, this mock study is about student of KKTM Ledang. The population is all students of KKTM Ledang. The sample is 100 students from the college. The variables are daily routine requirement, basic transportation, convenience, and healthy lifestyles. In short, the study covers all students, but only 100 are chosen as a sample and focuses on those three variables.
For our raw data, we collect the weekly step of KKTM Ledang students. The data range was set between 5,001 and 15,000 steps. This range was chosen to represent students who are moderately active up to highly active. Using Microsoft Excel, we generate the raw data and organize it in a table, make easier and for analyze to the next step.
Thank you, Izati, for your explanation. Now, I will take over the presentation by explaining to you about frequency table. So this is our frequency table. So in frequency table, with frequency, especially frequency, cumulative frequency, midpoint, frequency multiplied by midpoint, then frequency multiplied by midpoint the power of 2. Lower boundary and upper boundary is needed to sketch a histogram and a GIF. So this is our histogram and OGIF that I mentioned before. So to draw an histogram, what we needed is frequency on the y-axis and upper boundary in the x-axis. So we take the data from the frequency table and transfer it into the histogram. So in histogram, we can find a mode. Just do that what the drawing do, and you can find the mode. So to sketch an OGIF, we need cumulative frequency on the y-axis and upper boundary in the x-axis. So in OGIF, we can find the median. How to find the median? So we take the total frequency. So our total frequency is 100 divided by 2. So we get 50. So draw the line. So draw the line on 50 until it hit the OGIF. Then you draw a straight line until you get the number below. So number below is the median.
Here we have the step count data from 100 students at KKTM Ledang. We analyze the data using Excel to get the mean, median, mode, variance, and standard deviation. The result shows that the average steps taken is about 9,527. The median or middle value is 9,045, and the most common step count is 8,350. The variance and standard deviation tell us how spread out the data is. In this case, the standard deviation is around 3030, which means there's a big difference in how active students are. So overall, we can say most students walk around 9,000 to 10,000 steps per day, but there are still students who walk a lot more or a lot less than the average.
From analysis group data, we're using 5 important statistical measures: the mean, median, mode, variance, and standard deviation. First, let's look at the mean. The mean is the average number of steps taken by students. After calculating, we found the mean to be 9,760.5 steps. This means, on average, students are taking close to 10,000 steps a day, which is quite good. Next, the median represents the middle value of the data. Based on our table, the median falls in the 8,001 to 9,000 step range, and the result is 9,000.5 steps. This shows that half of the students take fewer than 9,000 steps, while the other half take more. For the mode, which represents the most common step range, we identified the modal class as 8,001 to 9,000 steps. The calculated mode is 8,379.81 steps, meaning this range is the most frequent among the students. Moving on to the variance, variance tells us how spread out the data is. We calculated the variance as 7,632 and 400. While this is a large number, it simply means there is a wide range of step counts among the students. Finally, the standard deviation, which is the square root of the variance, came out to be 2,762.68 steps. This indicates that most student steps counts vary around 2 to 3,000 steps from the average.
For question 9, I will explain about the comparison between ungroup data, group data, or GIF and histogram. For median, ungroup data is 9,060. Group and or GIF are 9,000.5. The difference is small. For mod, ungroup data is 8,350. Group is 800, 3,079.81, and histogram is 8,400.5. For the mean, ungroup data means is more accurate. Group mean is slightly different because of midpoints. Variance and standard deviation both are a bit higher in group data due to loss of details. For the conclusion of comparison, group data is the most accurate, but group data or GIF and histogram are still useful to make analysis simpler.
In conclusion, this assignment we learn how to apply statistics and probability from chapter 1 to real-life problems by KKTM Nedang students. By analyzing the number of steps per week, we also practice using mathematical formulas with Microsoft Excel. Therefore, we suggest that KKTM Nedang students increase their weekly step to more 15,000 in order to stay active and healthier.